Sarkar, and today I am going to discuss with you, I am share with you the ideas about how technology has overlapped our brain cells and whether in today's technological age, what are the different aspects which we can do so that we can improve on our brain cells and help us to overcome a certain things which we may expect in future life. See what happens. Technology, yeah, I do agree that technology is every day and day in and day out we are using technology, mobile phones, laptops, computers, fax machines. This is a requirement, today's requirement. The reason behind it, we have to be with the globe. We have to be with the technology so that we understand what is going on throughout the world. What are the things which we can overcome, or what are the things which we can do fast in this global environment. But one thing which I always think is technology helping me to building my personality? Technology is building the nation's personality and we are definitely driving forward to build our nation. But at what cost? At a cost where my brain cells, my powers which are there, am I able to utilize it in a certain way so that it can help my nation also to go in a much ahead and a better way and create a wonderful opportunities for people around to come up with great ideas, great innovations, great creativity. So these are the things which I just want to share with you today. The first important aspects, let's understand first whether the internet and the human brain, how it is correlated and whether there is any linkage between between the two. Okay, let's consider that internet is a huge network, okay, and a child's brain, we have nearly about 100 billion cells which are called neurons, which is spread over the complete brain and helps us to activate and take decisions. Now if we compare our brain with the internet, okay, we have 100 billion neurons. What you feel, that internet is much more than 100 billion or it's less?
Much less.
Much less? The internet, if internet means websites, right? We find information on the website. So are websites less than 100 billion or more than 100 billion? More. There are more websites than 100 billion. So internet is on a very huge scale than the neurons which we have.
Yeah, but you lose the activity of your brain.
I'll come forward for that.
This is very burdensome.
I'll come. The second part is now the connectivity which is there. Now the websites are connected with what is one website connected with the other? What is that link called?
The connection.
Yeah. So we click on that link and we are able to go to another page or another website.
Google.
No.
Another page.
Yeah. So what is that link called? We call it, when we click on certain things, we go to either a page or either a website opens up. So it's a hyperlink, right? So when we click the hyperlink, we are able to process this information and we can go around and search for a lot of things. Similarly, human brain, if we have to connect two neurons, connect the link between two neurons, that link is called as synapses. Now if we compare the hyperlink with the synapses, now what you feel? Hyperlink is more or synapses are more?
Synapses are
Perfectly right. Synapses are more. The reason behind it, the hyperlinks are connected to a certain other link, whereas the synapses has multiple connections. When I say 100 billion neurons, so one neuron can be connected to all the other neurons. So there are multiple combinations and this is a complex network of human brain which we can have n number of activities, n number of things which can come forward. Okay. Now I just want to have a small exercise. Madam, can I get a small paper? Or is in a form of certain rules which are laid down. Okay. So if there's small rule which is not in which is not correct or it is misspelled or the syntax error is there, what happens? Does the application run? It stops down, right? Now let's understand from the other viewpoint. we just do a small exercise just to know that if this application does not, what happens in a human brain? Can I have one more paper? Do you have one paper? Can you just tear it a little bit? I just want little bit. I just wanted to show you a small demonstration. Yes, you can. Can you use that? Okay. Yeah. I'll just share with these with them. Yeah. Keep it for you. Okay. Now I want you to do a small exercise which will explain as to what. Please. Yeah, please. So this exercise will show you that the neurons which are there and the interconnections which are there are completely different in all of us. Okay. Now you have to close your eyes and the paper is in your hand. Okay. Do you have one paper? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So what you need to do, you need just close your eyes and follow the instructions which I say. Okay. Don't ask me any questions. Later on I'll take your questions. Okay. Just close your eyes and follow the instructions which I tell you. Okay. Okay. Now the paper which is in your hand, okay, just fold it once. Okay. Now the bottom left corner, tear a little bit. Okay. No, just follow the instructions which individual instructions. Okay. Now again fold it once. Now on the bottom right corner, tear the bottom right corner. Now again fold it once, the last fold, and the top right corner you tear it. Top right corner, yes. Okay, now open your eyes. And now open the paper also. And just show, all of you show the paper. Can you show the paper? Are all the papers different? Is there any paper which is again same as the others? Why this happens? The instructions were same. I was giving the same instructions to all of you. All of you did the way you wanted to do. Okay. But in each, no two papers are same. The reason behind it, we have our own understanding of certain things. We have done as per our understanding what you have understand. Now somebody have completely torn the paper. Somebody has little bit torn the paper. My instruction was not tear the paper. I have not told you to tear it fully. I have not told you to tear it half. It's about your perceptions, the way you think about it, the way you thought, that the way you understood it, you have done appropriately, right? So even this exercise, if you do with 20 or 30 people also, you will not get a single person who has the same way the other person has done it, because we all have a certain amount of understanding, the perceptions, the learnings and the knowledge which we have come together throughout our lifetime.
But actually when it says so, if you tear the right hand side corner,
Okay.
I thought so.
Yeah, it's perfectly right. It's perfectly right. What you think?
It was some basic on suggestions.
Sorry?
On suggestions it was told.
Okay, yes, right. But the instructions were given to all. Yeah. It's not given for individual different instructions. So the instructions was only one instruction for all the people, but the way we understand the things. See, why this happens, one more reason is, blindfold reason is, we have not come with a guidebook. You take an electronic gadget, you take your PC, you take your television set, you take your refrigerator, it comes with the guide as to how to operate. But when we were born, it was not ready with us. Nobody gave us that sheet where how we should act, how we should react to situations, how we should go about it. At the age of certain age, what we need to do, how we need to transform the learnings, how we need to understand the learnings, how we need to incorporate the language. So these are the things which we learn from others, from the society, from our parents, from the education institutions. And the other, we all learn from a certain institutions, but the takeaway which is there, the learnings which are there are different from individuals. So through this exercise, I just wanted to show that human brains are so complex that we can create new things, we can design those things, we can eliminate the errors, we can come out with a creative, a different aspect which can be acceptable and applicable at any situations. Whereas in technology, if we miss out a single application, if we miss out a single syntax, a comma, a full stop, the application does not run. So here my take is, human cells are so active and so accustomed to certain things that you can change as per the requirement. Now the brain cells which are there, so whatever we are doing now, the actions or the plans or whatever we are incorporating in our day-to-day life is, are they conscious or unconscious, subconscious? The whole day are we conscious, complete conscious? So automatically, yeah, right. So these are, nobody has to tell us that in the morning you have to get up and brush it. So this has become unconsciously a pattern which we form, and we just go on doing a certain amount of thing which is been already planned, which we have learned, and we are using it throughout our lifetime. Now if we consciously think, let us assume that we consciously think what has to be done, what can be the changes?
In what respect?
The whole day. Now the breathing also, it's unconsciously happening. When we consciously breathe, what happens?
Living a very aware state.
Very good, fantastic. It's a complete awareness state. It's a complete know-how how the organs are moving. It's a know-how as to how the breathe in and breathe out is happening. It's a knowledge of the internal state of how we are living in the age and how it is making a difference to us, right? So when we do meditation, it helps us. So if we don't do meditation the whole day, we are actually in a meditation state, but we are not aware about it. So the first important aspect which I want to point out is the awareness how the brain cells work. Okay, I'm just going to just tell you about in a layman's language as to how our brain cells work. If we know that, then we can incorporate that what can be done so that we can improve our state of living and we can enjoy to the fullest. Okay, now a human brain, as I told you, it's 100 billion cells are there. Now we will ask, okay, so what? So now these brain cells are divided into 40 compartments. Now these 40 compartments are completely of an intellectual level, our creativity, innovation, the thinking process. So all these neurons are spread at different location and they function as per the requirement. Okay, now these cells, now when we say that I have a poor memory, okay, or my memory is average, so what do I mean by that? Is I am not able to recaptivate. I understand the things, I learn the things, at that moment I am able, when we read a newspaper or a book, when a student reads a book, he understands everything, yeah, I know. But what happens when he goes for the examinations, or what happens when we have to disclose any information to a third person, or what happens when at a particular time that information we have to put forward, at that time what happens? Recall is poor. Now the main thing is, at that time we were able to understand, we were able to comprehend, but after few minutes what happens? So we all have a short term memory. So in order to captivate and come out of the short term memory, what we need to do, how that recall process can be made much more stronger, these can be dealt with the techniques. Now the techniques are available. So these techniques helps you to understand how it has to be done. So this helps you to understand what are the different functions of the human brain. There is a left brain, there is a right brain. Okay. Now What does the left brain do and what does the right brain do?
Left is for reasoning.
Reasoning, logical, sequential, right? So understanding, decision making, that is called completely logical. Right brain is creative. Creative, senses, your color, your innovation, your the way it's so. I put it in a different way. So left brain is a logical brain which functions in a complete bracket, in a complete square, whereas the right brain, it does not have any limitations. It is completely out of the box thinking, beyond the box thinking. So what do I mean by beyond the box thinking is when we are creative, we come out with a lot of ideas. Okay. Now let's do a simple exercise over here. When I say logical, let's apply both our logical brain and a creative brain, and we'll see the difference. Okay. Now, if I say two things to be compared, okay, chair and PC, okay, this desktop. How can we compare this? Let's think logical.
They're both inanimate. They don't have life.
They don't have life, yes. If I compare this, can I make one product?
No.
Of course,
It's a
you can.
complementary.
Depends.
Yeah. Yes.
It's a complementary.
Right. So now again the thinking is logical as well as creative. When we say no, we are just looking in the box. So this is logical thinking. Yes, this I cannot combine this. Yeah, I can compare this, I cannot combine this. But if we think creatively, what combinations can be there? Combine this and make one product.
Sitting table and a computer together.
Yeah, this chair and this desktop. If you compare, and I want only one product.
Comparing and one product.
Yes. Logically we'll say no, it cannot be compared. I can keep this on this, and okay, I can say that I have combined those and I have made one product. It looks two now, but when I keep this, and if you see in a frame, it looks as a one product. That's a logical thinking. Yeah, quite logical, fantastic. But if you want to be creative,
I didn't follow your question.
okay, the question is, this chair and this desktop, I want you to combine this and make one single product. How can it be possible? So if you come out from the, yeah, please.
No, I mean,
मतलब there are totally two different products.
Right, perfectly,
How
two.
can we combine that?
Yes.
I think we can combine by making a complementary product like a comfortable chair to sit and work on like a desktop.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, so again you have kept it two separate things.
I mean, how I would see it is that this PC, it's like this standing. So I
Okay.
would make it sleeping.
Okay,
Okay, and which is a part of that chair.
okay,
So it can be used like this, and then when you put it up, you can use it as a PC.
okay. So where you will
But
place
it's
this?
still separate. I mean, it can be.
So the same model you are keeping it there.
No, I would make it smaller.
Okay.
Obviously, it cannot.
Okay, so let's make it this smaller. Okay, then what you are going to do?
And then put it like a
Table.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, writing table. Okay,
Writing table.
Okay.
Which can be turned up.
okay.
Used as a PC, or actually it can even be used from down. You just
Yeah.
kind of turn it.
Perfectly
and
right.
make
So
it
you have
like-
made a product. You have innovated. So tomorrow, if you want to make a PC and it should be comfortable for the students also, you can make that PC can be both a chair as well as a desktop. So here you already created. So here you have kept it. I am operating like this. I'm using it as a pad and a writing. So already you have made it. So have we combined it? We have combined into a single product. So that's innovation. That's creativity. So this is the part of the right brain. So you are thinking from your right brain. Logically, we'll say, hey, this will not happen. How this will happen? Because we have not seen it. Tomorrow, if the same product comes in the market, we'll say, yes, I want to purchase that product. Fantastic. My son can operate like this. At the same time, I'll close this and I use a writing table. So in the classrooms also, tomorrow the schools might purchase such a table wherein it's a TV, come desktop, come a writing pad. So 3 in 1, right?
With sitting arrangement.
With sitting arrangement, right? So this is what creativity, a right brain has come out of the logical, breaking the logical barriers. Because logical brain will not accept, as you mentioned, it is not possible at all. Now can you say it is possible? So the brain has so much powers which technology cannot, because technology, again, human brains operate. Human brains, if you use your creativity, then you can do it.
So ideally it means that we have to, for the next generation, and basically use more of their ideas.
Yes.
And China is doing a lot of that.
Lot of
and that's why it's
perfectly right. Perfectly right. Now both the brains are equally important. See, logically also we need to think, whether it's logically we will think in terms of cost. We will think in terms of how to market that product. Then logically we think what cost I need to maintain that so that it can be saleable in the market. What is the production I need to put up? What will the production cost? So this complete logical thinking will definitely come in picture. But if you have to create, now whatever we are saying, that is already been created. So we are, as on today, we create, in a simple layman's language, creativity is creating an activity. Creating an activity which is already somebody has done it from something new from the old. From the learnings, from the knowledge which you have acquired, from your inner ability to understand the thing and change for the betterment. Okay. So now this thing which has been innovated, that is for the betterment, that is for compactability, that is for usability of proper space, right? So when all the things come into picture, then creativity pops in. So for creativity we need to, again there are a lot, I can give a 4-hour session because creativity is a huge subject altogether. So you see, if we adopt small things on creativity, I can share with you some examples on how you can be more creative. You can just take 2 different words and try to combine those words. Try to make as we have made a story or as we have made a product, you can create certain products. Secondly, the expressions. The expressions which are there, try to understand different expressions. Try to analyze why those expressions are there. Unless and until we put our mind to use, we are not able to understand the answer. Today if you see, when you see a small child, see how curious he is. When somebody is laughing, he asks, if he doesn't understand the joke, he said, why that person is laughing? I want to know that. Do we say like that? If I don't understand the joke, I say, okay, I don't understand, leave it. Right? But a small child is very curious. What is this? What is that? Why it is made? Why the sound is like this? Why this sound is different? Why this sound is different? Why this is for? What can other things be done? So he has a completely focused and a creative mind which explores a lot of opportunities. So as I was talking about the synapses, the internet, the hyperlinks, if we say that the hyperlinks are there is a huge network of hyperlinks, and if we compare that with a child's brain, the child's brain is 10 times more than the hyperlinks. Hyperlink is when you are operating on the internet and in a website, if you want to go to a certain different page or a certain website, you just click on that link. So that's a hyperlink. So that's a connection. So in our brain also there are huge connections. So 100 billion cells, and they are connected with the help of synapses. So now these synapses, when they are connected, so the synapses are the link between the 2 neurons. So these connect the information. So when we say that I forgot that information, means that the link is, there is a break in the link. The link is not being properly put up. Conscious efforts have not been done. Take for example a simple example. When we meet people, we ask their names. Right? Okay. So can I know your good name?
Raishi Shah, R-A-Y-S-H-I.
R-A-Y-S-H-I. Okay. Now Raishi Shah, if I don't make a connection in my mind, after some time I am going to forget it. Right now I have understood the name Raishi Shah, R-A-Y-S-H-I. Shah, S-H-A-H. I have understood, I have comprehended, I have seen that person, I have met him. But after some time what happens? I am not able to recall the name. The reason behind it, I have lost the link. At that time temporary link has been created when I have repeated the name. So there are techniques which can help you to link those things for a long time, because the name has to be connected to the face, the name has to be connected to that particular person, and I have to remember it maybe in a later time also, right. So the first important aspect is the attention is the memory, it is the mother of memory. If you are not attentive, if I am not attentive, I will not be able to memorize the name. So first important aspect is attention. If we are not attentive, we are not able to grasp it, I have not created a link only, then how can I expect that I should remember the name? So in the first instant, my connectivity, the synapses have not been connected.
So in terms of when you say attention, so what happens to the synapses that time?
Yeah, when I'm attentive and now the synapses have been connected. Now after a few times, suppose I ask different names and I have not connected in a better way. Okay. Now see, everything is associated with certain things. Now if I ask you that, can you recall any incident 10 years back, 15 years back? We are able to have those incidents, 10, 15 incidents, not all. All memories are stored in the brain, in subconscious brain, all, right from the childhood till now. But are we able to recollect all the information? If I asked you 17th December last year, 2013, where were you? Maybe 9/11, you all know 9/11, the incident which happened, but if I ask you, where were you at that moment, when that happened, where were you? We are not able to get it because we have not been, we are not connected. Maybe at that time, maybe you might be attending somebody's marriage. You will definitely say, yes, my niece was getting married, I was there, and there I got the information. So there are some association factor which is there, which helps you to know where you are. So wherever there is a association linkage is there, the memory gets associated very strongly. The synapses are hold on for a very long time. So you need to decide what information we have to keep in short term, in mid term and long term. If I want to, so I'm studying for a certain program, and that information I want to use it for a lifetime. So that information definitely I'll see to it, I'll put it on a long term basis. Now student, 8th standard student, 9th standard student, 7th standard student, he just wants that information to pass out this class, finish. So that information, I'll hold it. Today is May, my examination is in December. So I'll hold that information till December. Once my examination is over, tata bye bye. All that information is gone. The reason behind it, I have not withhold that information.
But as you are only saying that the information is there in the subconscious mind.
Information is there.
Consciously, I feel that it is not there because consciously I am not able to recollect.
Yes. So after the examinations, what happens? The link between the thing is I am not attentive and I don't want to remember the information because it's of no use to me. So
will comes in.
yes. So what happened? The information is still there. I'm not saying that it has gone out. It has faded out. Because I am more attentive in getting information for my next standard. I am more eager to get that information, to capture that information so that I can qualify for that particular examinations. If I am a law student and I want to become a lawyer, so the law, the case studies which are there, I'll definitely associate with those things if I know the how to associate. Our education system does not teach you how to associate. It teaches you these are the books, these are the chapters, these are the things which are going to come for the examination. You have to appear and pass. But do I know how to read? Do I know how to comprehend that information? Do I know how to store that information for long term? Do I know how to connect those information if I have to remember for a long time? So these are the informations which you need to learn. We need to have systems. There are techniques, there are tools which explains you how you can put those information together. If we use a complete synchronization of the brain, human brain, the right and left, because both have their own individual capabilities and both have that potential to connect the information in a better way. So when you synchronize the information, when you club together, then you get fantastic results. Now when we have to remember a huge chunk of information, okay, what we do?
We split it first
Sorry.
We break it into bits.
Okay. Do we all do it? Suppose we have to remember a list of 20 items, or say for a long answer, what I do, if I remember one point, one word, can I frame it into one sentence? So if I have to write a paragraph of say 20-30 lines, can that 20 words help me to frame that? And if I remember them in a sequence, can I frame that particular answer? So if I have to do that, what I do we all break that information and do it? How we do it? Normally how we do it? I just wanted to understand from you all.
Take for example, make like a one small link.
Okay.
To do it health talk, and health talk. This is the item. Then you itemize the thing and
Summarize, repetition, summarize.
Right, perfectly right. Summarize, repeat. That's called rote memory. Okay? You read it 3 times, you read it 4 times, and then you get the gist of it. Some require 10 times also reading. Sometimes some have to write it down. Okay. I always quote an example. When we all are sitting in one class, okay, and the teacher is fantastic, why a student get first rank and the other student get less marks? What's the difference? Why it happens?
like a teacher, the way the teacher speaks, that it may be influencing the child better than the other child. And that the child is more interested in that teacher's way of teaching.
Okay. The child who gets 40 marks, he's not at all interested, or 60 marks is not interested.
His interest may be in another teacher's way of teaching.
Okay.
Personality also counts a lot.
See, multiple factors, level of interest, level of attention, then the child's inherent capacity also.
Okay. Okay. The main reason is, now initially right from beginning he does not like the subject.
No.
It doesn't happen like this.
No, the teacher makes the subject interesting.
But
And how the teacher makes it interesting means the child and the teacher wavelength is more similar. Where the other child may be responding to another wavelength.
okay. See, this can be your answer can be very well taken if there is a small group. But if in a big group, say 60 students, is this justified? In a small group, I understand. Whatever you have said, perfectly right. That can be justified in a small group. But in a big group, there are students chunk of students who get good marks. But there are a chunk of students who really fail in the examination or get poor marks. What can be the different reasons? I'll explain you the reason. The reason is, in a classroom there are different types of learners. There is a visual learner, there is auditory learner, there is kinesthetic learner. Okay. So one needs to understand whether what type of learner are present in my classroom, and the teacher needs to put the factors, and teacher needs to see to it that each of these type of learners understand what I am teaching. Let's say I'll just break it down still ahead. Now if a child, the last bench, the student sitting in the last bench, okay, and if a teacher understands that he is a visual learner. What is a visual learner? Visual learner understands when he visualizes a thing, when he is able to see the picture out of it, then he is able to grasp the things very nicely and in a very good way, and he gets excellent marks. Now if he is sitting in the last bench and the teacher is writing on the board and he is not able to see the board, or he is not able to see the teacher, he cannot visualize. His vision is blocked. And if the same thing happens throughout, he will score less, even if teacher is good, even if she is explaining a nice way, but because that child is a visual learner, he is not able to take down the notes. Maybe he takes a wrong notes, and in the examination also produces the wrong things. Take for the example of auditory learner. A teacher is not able to, his audio is not being able, the child is not able to hear it. He will not be able to progress. He will not be able to comprehend the information. He will not be able to understand. The third is a kinesthetic learner. Where is a kinesthetic learner? Unless and until he repeats the things, unless and until he writes the things, he will not be able to understand the thing. You might have seen children, they write it the same answer they write it 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, then only they are able to captivate. They are kinesthetic learners. They have to do the things and then only they get it. So if a teacher understands what type of learners are there in the classroom, she can put forward the session in a better way so that each of these 3 type of learners understand the concepts and they are able to captivate the things. So first, the person who is taking the session should know what type of people are there in my sessions. Who are the people who are attending the sessions? What are they? Whether they are visual, whether they are kinesthetic, whether they are auditory.
How do you come to?
Yeah, there are several tests. Now see, now in this session, now you all, okay. Now if I tell you a certain thing, so if I just tell you a story, okay. Now see the difference in you yourself will find out the difference. Now I'm going to tell you a story, okay. Now the story says that there is a huge tower, okay, and in that tower on the 9th floor the king lives. The king is walking down till the 4th floor and then he catches the lift and then he comes down. When he comes down, he walks straight, he moves towards the left, he finds a medical shop. From the medical shop he takes Anasin, he comes out of the medical shop, he goes straight, he turns right turn, he finds a police station over there. And then again he takes the right turn and there he finds a big playground wherein a lot of children, nearly about hundreds of students are playing over there, and he also starts playing over there. And from there he goes directly to his palace and he is sitting in his room. Okay. Now if this story, if you have to again explain me, how you will explain me? Anyone?
First, that there is a king.
Now see, now observe him. I'll tell you what's the difference. Yes, please.
That the person around whom the story is a king.
Okay.
That he is praying in a tower.
Okay. Sir, may I request you to please come here so that everybody can observe you. Everybody can observe you. Okay, no problem. Please observe him. I'll tell you the difference. No sir, it's not that. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you the reason. You're perfectly right. Go ahead.
See, it is moving around the king, and who is staying in a tower, and staying in a tower, half this he walks down and then takes the lift. Then he has to go out himself for getting the Anasin.
Okay.
And go with the instead of sending somebody, he will go.
Okay.
Then after taking Anasin, he doesn't go back and rest. He still wanders further. Finds a playground. And he rests like a छोड़ के फिर खेलने को चालू करता है.
Okay, fantastic. A big clap. Okay, anybody else? No, I don't want to, whatever you feel you can tell. Just I want to explain others. Yeah, please.
There is a king living on the tower, staying on the 9th floor. He walks down the stairs until the 4th floor and takes the lift. Then he goes to the chemist, buys the Anasin. Then he goes to the police station, and then from the police station he goes to the playground, and then he goes back home.
Fantastic. Great. Yeah, please. Just don't minute. Yes. Anybody else?
I would say the same thing almost, but
Yeah.
except the directions. That first he goes left towards to the medical store, and then
No, I just wanted to see how you are going to express that.
so there's a king who lives on the 9th floor, and he comes down, walks down the staircase, comes on the 4th floor, takes a lift, comes down. Okay, I'm seeing how I'm doing it.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Fantastic. Go ahead.
Then he goes left, he goes to the medical store, he buys the Anasin and he comes out. He goes to the right, he goes to the police station. Then he walks further to the right to the playground. And then he comes back.
Fantastic.
He
Okay.
lives in a tower.
Fantastic. No issues. See here now, if you observe very carefully, the first gentleman. So your good name, please.
Lard.
Lard. Yeah. Mr. Lard, when he expressed, have you seen that is the expression of the kinesthetic learner. So the kinesthetic, unless and until he puts forward the different aspects. Were you seeing that when you were doing it? Right. So the kinesthetic learner understands the things. Okay, from left, right, he always puts in the directions. Okay. Whereas when you have observed him, he specifically said 9th floor, 4th floor, took a right turn, took an anasin. So specifically, sharply, audio learner. He heard what I said properly. Were you imagining those things?
Absolutely no.
Whereas you specifically mentioned, I am imagining those things. That how that person came on the 4th floor.
When I was saying, I had that 9 from 9th to came 4th, and 4th means I
Sequence.
So you have visualized.
Absolutely visualized when I was speaking it, and maybe
So you have visualized also as well as kinesthetic. So we all are either visual, either auditory.
combinations of
Yeah, combinations. Yes, but there is dominant. You are dominant in visual. You're dominant in auditory and dominant in kinesthetic. Good, fantastic example we got, all the three. Lucky. So here, now are you able to get a visual person visualizes, okay. When I spoke that he is living in tower, did you visualize the tower? How many of you visualize the tower?
Yes.
So as a combination, yes, we visualize it, but everybody's visualization was different. But slowly, if we are dominant in auditory, you initially visualize, then 9th floor, 4th floor, will sharply hear 9th floor, 4th floor, then he came down. If I would have said that 3rd floor he ran down to the 2nd floor, and from 2nd floor he caught the way, he would have immediately picked up. Whereas the other might have not been able to get 3rd and 4th and 9th and 4th, because the numbers are abstract. The words, the alphabets are abstract. Does C have any meaning? Unless and until I transfer it to C for cat. C doesn't have any meaning. P for parrot. Unless and until say parrot, you are not able to visualize parrot. So 85% of the time we are into visualization state. We visualize. So whatever has been going on. So even though you are sitting here, you can see both the walls. So your peripheral vision is very strong. But are we making use of this peripheral vision?
No.
Because nobody has taught us. It's not that we are purposely doing it.
We take it for granted. With that.
In speed reading, we teach the technique as to how to use your peripheral vision for your own benefit. So there are techniques which help you to speed read. There are techniques which help you to master the numbers. There are techniques which help you to identify names and faces. We meet n number of people. Every day in and day out we meet people, but do we recognize them? Do we know them? If you people meet me outside, I say, oh, I've seen you somewhere.
Crawford Market.
I don't know. Maybe yeah. So some connections we make. Okay. Yes. That day. You told. I told you the story and you narrated that. At Help Library. So what I'm doing? I'm associating things, and when I associate things, then I come to know. Yes, I have met you there.
I'm not clear now. Auditory, you said that person is more inclined with numbers and listening properly. Kinesthetic will use the hand.
And movements, body movements. Kinesthetic is completely into body movements.
Exactly, that's what I thought. Okay. But that's how so it's how you express, not how you just now you're asking us how we've taken it in, but actually we are responding on how you are expressing it. Are you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I got it. Perfectly right. So every learner, every person puts the thing in his own way. So now visual, auditory and kinesthetic, three are equally important. It's not that if you are visual you are good, but if you should know what is your dominance. So if I know I am a visual learner, I should practice more on auditory and kinesthetic. So to bring in par with the visual. So I should adapt some exercises which will help me in auditory, and I can improve my kinesthetic also. Right?
No, I thought
It's a combination. Yeah, because
if you know that if I know I'm a visual learner, so that's how I should learn better.
Yes, perfectly right.
That's how I learn better.
Perfectly
Why
right.
should I add the other 2 points?
It can help you. See the connections which are there. Now as I told you, the neurons are connected through synapses. Now through visual you are able to connect it. But what if you are not able to connect in certain situation? your other two things can help you out. So this can be a, you can say, supplementary or complementary. We all have all three, but the dominance is a certain aspect. Maybe a visual, maybe a kinesthetic, maybe a auditory. Okay. The second point which I want to raise is, when we say technology can, I need not, when I deal with lot of people, they said today I have everything. I have my latest mobile. I can get all the information on my mobile. So why I should depend on activating my brain cells? They are there. So consciously they are there and they are helping me as it required. So, but am I consciously using my brain cells for my use wherever I want to use it? Maybe in logical thinking, maybe visualizing, maybe understanding a concept, maybe comprehending, or maybe when I am reading. Am I using my brain cells to understand and help me out in different aspects? So the technology can help you to a certain extent till you feel that yes, this things which I been using my life is smoothly. But what next? Can it be a replacement to your brain cells? Can it replace your internal powers?
No.
No. Yes. Perfectly right. The reason behind it, your brain cells, if they are not being used, they die. Every day 10,000 neurons die, and the next day the fresh neurons are in place. Just like 24 hours, I don't have yesterday's 24 hours, they are gone. Next 24 hours in my hand, what I need to do, I have to decide. Similarly, the brain cells also, I need to decide how to use my brain cells so that in a later stage, when they are actually required, at that time, since I have not used it for the past of my life, brain cells don't support us. So the delay process which happens, now I have 100 billion neurons, a child has 100 billion neurons, wherein it started its communication. When we communicate him, the neurons get activated, his curiosity develops, his complex connection starts building up. So whenever we are talking to the child, every word which he takes is building up his connections, is building up the neurons, building up the synapses, building up the connection, building up the association.
So you mean to say when the child has 100 billion neurons, they
100 billion neurons, yeah.
Yeah, but they are connected.
See, we have 40 different parameters in our brain.
Okay.
So the neurons are being connected, been shared in different platforms,
So
and
when exposure to the environment comes, so that connection becomes stronger. That's what you're saying.
the connection, when it happens, when association is there, the connection happens. The synapses are there. It's just like I'll put in my words as a glue. If I put a glue and then it is connected, if the glue is not stronger, it will get disconnected. Now suppose if I have to remember you for a long time, I should associate you in such a strong way that the glue is completely fit. Even after 10 years, if I recall you, I should be able to recall you. So I should have a certain system with me, that how I should connect with this.
So what? How?
So I need to, let's say for example Amitabh Bachchan, will we forget? No one of us will forget Amitabh Bachchan. The reason behind it is a strong bonding which he has created through his movies, through his way of speech. So there are certain aspects. For you it might be speech, for me it might be a personality, for someone it might be action. So we need to find out what is the thing which I can associate with you proper.
So when you are doing associations, it also has to be feeling based. Because then that feeling just...
Right.
Is it? I'm just asking.
No, it has to be a base. It has to be a base. So I have to remember you. I have to associate with certain thing which can be applicable to me. See, if I want to associate just with your specs, I see a lot of people with specs. So how can that coordinate with you? So there are certain systems which that can be explained a long way. It just so that there are techniques which help you to associate human faces with the names, with the locations. So are we using this? So there are a lot of things which we have it but we don't use it. We are not aware about it. The first thing I'll just share with you what are the things which we can use it and we are not using it. Everything is in our hands. Now the complete body part, it's a system, right? They are all in a sequence, right from the hair to the toe, right? So this is one system. Can we use that system? Can anybody tell me how we can use this body part as a system? I am teaching you one technique.
How we can use body part?
Body part as a system for remembering things. Say if you have to remember an appointment, say 9:30 to suppose you are into what profession?
I'm a yoga teacher.
Yoga teacher. Okay. So suppose you have, let's assume that you teach yoga at one place and in a day you visit 6 different places and every day the places are different. It's not the same place. Let's assume. Okay. So 9:30, say 2 hour session. 9:30, 11:30, 1:30, 3:30. So if you have to remember the complete week, how you will be able to remember this? You'll write it on a pad or your diary and then you'll see that every time and you will actually. But suppose let's say you have written the full week's program. You have committed time to those institutions or maybe the school or something like that, and that diary is lost. What you will do? Again, let's put that technology. You have put everything in your mobile. You have put everything in your PC. Your mobile battery is discharged and you don't know after now it's 4:27 and you have to go at 5:30. You don't, maybe 5:30 and after that you don't know because your mobile has been discharged.
So
And your PC is at your home, you are outside.
So you bring using your body as a system. So like either like stomach upwards, like
No, you can
first
say
up-
say 9:30 if you have to go to say Dadar. Okay. So Dadar, what you see Dadar, now to remember Dadar you have to associate that thing with something else. So Dadar, what you know in Dadar? Any one thing.
Swaminarayan temple.
Swaminarayan temple. So when I say Swaminarayan temple, immediately you will come to know it's Dadar. So if I connect Swaminarayan temple with your hair, so 9:30 is your first appointment at Swaminarayan temple.
So very nice, very beautiful.
So the second appointment is 11:30. So what is after hair? What is the next thing which you have? The forehead, and you have the appointment at Kolaba. What's Kolaba? What is the one prominent spot which you know? So like this, how we can use our system for our own importance. So here your brain cells are helping you out to associate the things within yourself.
So that's how basically memory can be.
Yes, so memory is, unless until you associate, your memory will not be able to. If I don't associate, now let's just say, take the same example, Dadar and Kolaba or Virar, can you imagine those railway stations? All are same. There is no difference. Unless and until you say, Dadar.
I mean, I agree to what you're saying, but the fact that if of course if it's very, very important you'll do that, but there's so much time that will go into doing your associations, or it happens very quickly because you are experienced.
No, yeah, I'll share you that. See, whenever there is a change, okay, now, up till now we have not used the systems, right? Up till now we have been rote memory. We have been writing down, in the class we are taking note, in the sessions we are taking note, right? So in a logical way we take notes, and what we give a command, now also you are taking notes, what command you are giving to your brain? It's there in the notes. If you don't refer these notes immediately after these sessions, nearly about 80% is lost. If you don't refer these notes now and you refer it after 2 or 3 days, then when you are reading, why I have written this? You don't know why you have written that. You have yourself have written it. The compactability and the connectivity has gone. So what happens when you immediately refer to these notes, then you are able to okay, just a few minutes back, as we said that we all have a very short term memory. The research has proved that 5 plus 2 or minus 2, we tend to remember. Now landline numbers we all have used. Do you remember landline numbers?
Yeah.
7 digits. And how many mobile numbers you remember? They are 10 digits. So the important aspect is when the numbers increase, you have to chunk and then you have to remember. If you don't chunk it, now your mobile number, if I ask you, how you tell me? How you will tell me? Chalo, I have asked your mobile number.
5 5, like 98695.
98695. So you are breaking in 5.
Yeah.
So you are chunking it,
Yeah, okay.
and that's why you are able to tell those information. Other person also able to capture that information. We don't tell 983340401292. We don't tell at a stretch. We say 9833141273. So what we are doing, we are either chunking in 2 or 3 or 5. So till 7, 5 plus minus 2 till 7, we are able to recollect it. Later on we are not able to connect those information. Okay. Now another important aspect is when we are dealing with certain things, the thinking process. Okay. So have we learnt about any thinking skills? So whatever we think in terms of that particular idea or that particular movement, we just process that information based on your learnings, based on your knowledge, based on your experience, and based on the person which you are dealing. But if we understand the mind process and the thinking process, then we will be able to captivate the information, captivate the person, captivate the decision making process, whether it should be delayed or it has to be done at the same moment. So the thinking analysis, okay, so a thought process which is moving, we get 60,000 thoughts per day. So are we captivating on those thoughts? How many ideas you get per day? Are we now? Recently I read a classic this article about our dreams. Okay, when we dream, okay, are we able to? How many of you remember your dreams?
Forget the moment it goes.
Always.
Not always.
Some.
And how many dreams you would remember?
Remember?
How many dreams you remember in a day? Suppose you sleep from say 10 to 6. Do we get only one dream?
No.
Multiple.
Multiple dreams we get. So do we remember all the dreams?
No, not all.
Then which dream you remember? The dream which is completely at the last. So because dreams have just, it's a random, that's called REM, random eye movement. So when your random eye movement takes place, when you get a sound sleep, then only you can have dreams. If you don't get sound sleep, your dreams are scattered and you are not able to note it down. How many of you note down your dreams?
Just remember.
Okay.
Explain. I mean.
How many of you note down your ideas? See, ideas don't have any specific time. It just comes on. If you don't write the idea is gone. So you need to note down those ideas so that you can use it later on. Okay.
We were at that auditory, visual and kinesthetic. You can be any kind of learner, and then you said how to enhance that.
Yeah. So there are tools. A visual learner. If you know that you are a visual learner, so what you need to do, how you need to process ahead. There are different things. Now suppose you are a visual learner and you want to progress ahead. So you need to visualize, either close your eyes or open your eyes and visualize of a situation and try to get the points of, say, visualize your own house, and then you will come to know there are certain things which are there but I have never seen those things. So if you try to capture those information, then your visual power will increase.
So that means that you just first try it with the concrete, and then you go to abstract for visualization.
Yes.
Like suppose when I move out of here, so just how did the help library look like? What were the things around? And then that's the way.
So that's the observation. So do we observe regularly? Day in and day out we move from places to places.
You talked about the peripheral vision.
Yeah, we have this peripheral, but do we use it for, this is used for spirit reading. Now when we take the book, okay, so that's again, I'll just explain in short so that you can understand. When we read the book, okay, normally how we read it either word by word or alphabet, we stretch on a certain alphabet and then we read. So suppose a page has nearly about say 200 words a page. So we read 200 words, right? But our vision is widespread and we are focusing on a particular word or this thing. Is it required for every type of reading? Say suppose a definition, it's required. Every word is important.
That's very interesting what you said. What is it? Is it required?
Yes.
You can miss out the E, A, N and the and all. That's a
Wherever, yes.
lovely. I never thought of that.
See, for definition, a student has to remember perfect definition, otherwise he will get less marks. So there, his concentration focus should be completely on word by word. But does the whole chapter is completely based on definitions? The whole magazine which we read, is it completely based on the information which we have? So how to captivate
Just
that?
take the book and show us. I mean,
No, again, because this is a long process. It cannot be just showed in a short time.
No, what you are saying is that so you are reading from left to right.
Yeah.
You go from left to right.
Yeah. Left to right or right to left. Both ways we read. Right? So here, my this thing, because here there is a course on speed reading. It will take half a day.
Workshop.
I have my workshop also on 12th I have workshop over here.
What is it on?
This is completely on how to use the techniques for different types. Speed reading is one of the aspect wherein I'll be showing you how different exercises which you can practice those exercises, and then you will be able to speed read. And then I'll be sharing about 5 different techniques as to how to remember your mobile numbers, how to remember list of items. So it's a 4 hours workshop. The course fee is 2,000 rupees and it's a 4 hours workshop. We are keeping on 12th, right? Yeah. And the timing is 10 to 2. 10 to 2. Okay. Here only. Okay. So here what I wanted to share with you is when we are reading word by word. Okay. So every word is not so important, but we need to again comprehend also that information also should be able to get it. So UK has laid down the standards that 800 words per minute with 70 to 80% comprehension is a benchmark. Normally if I take your reading speed, it will come out to nearly between, because you are not trained for speed reading, you are not done any exercises. So once you do these exercises, gradually this speed will increase. Now if I give you a test, I can definitely tell you not, you'll all be below 200.
Much less.
Between 100 to 200, this range will go.
100 to 800 per
800 words per minute,
minute.
with comprehension of 70 to 80 percentage. Once you learn the techniques,
That's the capacity that we all have, which we are not using.
and there are people who are 1000 words per minute with a comprehension of 80% and more, they are hardly 3%. And more than 1000 words, they are hardly 0.01%. So even if we keep a benchmark of say 600 to 700, that will be fantastic. And this will gradually come once you know the exercises. I am going to share it during my session. Once you know this exercise and once you practice these exercises, I think maybe in next 3 to 4 months you will be getting a speed of 400 to 500 to be really practical.
It's a matter of practice.
Yes, a matter of practice. And if you practice it if you give more hours, I can in 4 months it can definitely go to 700 also. If you invest more hours, if you at least invest half an hour to 1 hour every day, it will go to 500 in next 4 months, because it requires practice. Again, comprehension is important.
It